Welcome to another episode of Hair Biz Radio with your host Zakiyrah and
Mikey.
It's Mikey's intro for me all the time.
Remember the older intro though? It was like Mikey. Do you remember that one? Mm-mm. Oh, okay, never mind. I only did it for like 2 episodes. It might have been too hot.
Oh God. So we're back with another episode, and last episode was amazing. We had a great guest. Make sure I'm not even going to tell you guys who it was. You just got to go back and click on the episode and watch it or listen to it.
Legendary family in the industry.
Definitely. In the hair industry, they've done amazing work. They are literally the pioneers kind of the industry. So today let's just jump right into it. What's been up? What's new?
What's happening is life. We were just talking about getting back. I just got back from Dominican Republic. Dominican guys, don't sleep on Dominican Republic.
Don't sleep on it.
It is fun. It's close, but the American Airlines thing is the tough part for me. So what happened was we were driving through the mountain, right? So we flew into Santo Domingo and we had to drive through to Puerto Plata. We're on the mountain. It's getting late. My driver guy, he's a little sleepy.
A little sketch.
Yeah. Okay. He's one of those guys that kind of talks up a big game thinking that you know nothing. And I'm like, dude, I've done all this stuff all my life kind of thing. One of those guys. Anyway, when I tell you, I saw my life flash in front of me. Whew. It was about 9 o'clock at night, dark, going back down the mountain. Some car, and it's just 2 lanes, and it's windy. Car out of nowhere just is in our lane. We are an inch from a head-on collision.
Ooh.
He slams on his brakes. Everyone comes flying forward that didn't have their seatbelt on. I'm just like, this is it. Okay. And the guy swerved at the last second. I just thought we were dead.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to be here today.
Definitely.
It was close. I'm saying
I believe
it
you.
was close.
I believe you.
Trust me, my sleepy driver was awake after that. He's nice. His name's Junior. He's funny. He's a nice guy. He's with us all the time when we're down there. But it is what it is. But the hair industry actually, they have some hair industry down there. So I was looking at that. Yeah, so we found some stores to sell wigs. I didn't go in this trip because we were looking for furniture, and I'm like 100% focused on that. But I would like to talk to them about, going to the stores. Actually, we went into a hookah store because Raj loves hookah. And, and they had a 28-inch body wave bundle. It's probably a little bit lower quality from what I could just kind of eye.
Wait a second. Really they had that in the hookah store?
Yeah. They had 2 bundles. They had 2 bundle selection. They had like a 20-inch and a 28-inch. Really random lengths because they don't really match.
They don't go together.
But I remember the 28-inch was $100 US, which is, I was like, okay, that's actually for down here, pretty decent price. And all the hair they get is from someone in the Dominican is supplying it to them.
So I'm still trying to understand this. So the hookah store was selling hair extensions.
Yeah.
And they only had 2 lengths.
Right.
20 and 28.
Yeah.
And was it just one of each, or did they
had
have
They had a couple. I mean, it's like, okay, I don't know if you guys know what you're doing over here. Okay. But, you're in a different country, and I'm not there to teach them at this point.
Yeah.
But in Santo Domingo, there were definitely some hair stores. In Santiago, we were there. It's another city kind of in the middle of the island. Okay. I saw a couple places, some salons. I would love to bring Dallas down there and just have Dallas walk into the salons and see what's going on.
Yeah.
So that part is interesting. But the place is beautiful. The people, driving cross country, it's beautiful, it's so lush.
Yeah.
Yeah, super cool.
And you're working on a project out there.
Yeah, working on my first Airbnb
project.
Oh,
first Airbnb. Yeah, and it's sick.
Yeah, that boy bad. But, the place is also for okay, if I have a partner, hey, Angela, if the villa's open for a couple days, if you and your friends want to stay there, just go have fun, stay down there.
Yeah.
So for building the business, it's also a strong move.
I was just going to ask you, what is the benefit of having other streams of income outside of the beauty industry, but how do they all intertwine together?
Yeah, so it's a double dipping on it, so you can use it for business as far as building relationships, which the place will rent for probably $1,000 to $1,500 a night, right? Because it's a big 4-bedroom pool, oceanfront, the whole deal. But, you know, you let someone, a friend or potential business partner or something like that, stay there for a couple nights, which, you know, okay, even if it wasn't rented, a loss of revenue of $5,000, right? Like that could form into a business relationship that generates millions.
Definitely.
It gives that person something to talk about. Like, oh, you got to meet my friend Mikey. You know, oh God, I just was down in Dominican, stayed at his villa.
Yeah.
You help people create stories about you and your business and what you do.
Yep.
Right. So we don't think about that enough. Is like the way you can get introduced to people and other people interested in you is you have to be doing exciting things that people want to be part of.
Yeah. It's a marketing strategy.
It's a marketing strategy, right? And I don't know about you. If I like, you know, I haven't even stayed in this place yet because we don't have beds. They're being worked on now.
You didn't want to sleep on the floor?
No, tile. No floor sleeping for me at this point, thankfully.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, man, if someone invited me to stay here, I'd be talking about that forever.
Oh, yeah.
So you get the right people to go down there, right? Maybe post on social. I might make it a location on Instagram so people can check in, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's all marketing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good because, you know, it is a great place. And honestly, like if I never get to stay there, I'm fine because if it's always booked.
Oh, yeah. That's a good thing. Bringing in moolah.
But, you know, being down there and just kind of clearing my head gave me a bunch of ideas. I was getting organized. You know, it gave me a chance to be like looking from the outside of the business.
Yeah.
You know, so being here is amazing because we can implement, but sometimes I have to be away.
Yeah.
To get a clear head of what we need to be doing here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it helps a lot. I think it's important for you guys to make sure you take a break.
Yeah. I think just us talking about the Airbnb, wanting to share with the listeners that you can have multiple streams of income while you're building your hair business. But the one thing that I love about Mikey, I think it might have been maybe 2 years ago when you kind of stopped everything else you were doing outside of the hair industry and said, I'm going to focus on the hair industry. And although you had more projects after that, they were all beauty industry related. And then now you've gotten to a point where, hey, I want to invest in real estate and start doing something else that is bringing in revenue, but it's also adding benefits to the beauty industry as well. So that's amazing.
Yeah, it's been an experience for sure. I mean, you know, we all continue to grow, but obviously bread and butter, main focus is all beauty and technology behind beauty. And we're working on tons of different projects and products. I mean, next door, they're just like, I'm like, all right, guys, we got to make sure when new products come in, we got to get the photos, we got to get it listed, we got to do this, got to do that. And my tie is like, man, you know, he's got his voice, man, you bring in products too fast. We always got new things showing up. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, we got a lot of demand for products.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we're out of space. Our Tucker property, we almost have the permit. We're literally next week is going to be the week.
Oh, finally, Tucker. The city of Tucker. Maybe they heard the podcast before last.
No, DeKalb County is
DeKalb
actually
County.
It's a combination of
what did I say?
things.
The city of Tucker.
Well, it is city of Tucker too,
Yeah.
but they've actually been good to work with.
Okay.
And it's just really DeKalb County, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But you know, it really messes up the finances, which is going to be part of today's podcast, talking about financing and the non-CPA and accountant approach to business finances.
Yes, because we are not CPAs.
And not accountants, and I
not
have an accountant.
accountants.
But I've actually been, it's funny, my accountant gets so mad. His name's Jay, because I'll see some like accounting advice on TikTok or something, and I send it to him. I'm like, Jay, what do you think about this? And he's like, yeah, this kind of makes sense, but this is not the whole story. So, you know, even just to kick this off, you got to be real careful about the financial information that's being put out through social media.
Definitely.
Because he's like...
First of all, you need to be careful about any information
Anywhere.
that's being put out through social media.
Yeah. You know, because I'm like, oh, this sounds so good. And he's like, this is only half of it.
Yeah.
This is the other half. And I even told him, I said, Jay, and you met the accountant Jay. So Jay is like this big... I don't know. Well, he just looks like one of those guys that ride those Harleys, a hog or something. Like big. I think he has like a big ear pierce, and he's got a head the size of I mean, a football field.
What? You know what? I'm gonna tell Jay you said that.
No, don't do that. That dude's still squat. He's like 60 something, squatting 500 pounds. He's just a beast. Mm-hmm. And I said, you could make, okay, so you know on TikTok how you have a video and then you can, what is it called? A replay of it? Remix.
Oh, yeah.
Like a remix. I said, you should remix these TikTokers and say, okay, this is what they said, which is partly true, but this is the full story from a real CPA.
Yeah.
I think he could kill it doing that.
Definitely.
But, you know, he's just like, I ain't got time for that.
Yeah,
so.
He doesn't. What is TikTok?
No, he knows TikTok. He follows me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
On TikTok?
Yeah, he's one of my like 20 followers on TikTok.
Hilarious. So does he make TikTok?
Nah, he just, him and his wife, they like social media and stuff. They're so funny.
Okay. They like to just laugh.
Yeah, he's got he just bought this year like a Dodge Challenger, one of those ones that make a lot of noise and just zoom, zoom, zoom.
Oh, wow.
Like special fixed up one. A couple years old, but it was like great condition. He's just a funny guy. Like, yeah. So yeah, be careful that's my first tip is like, be careful what you hear on social media. Like it could sound good, almost too good. Mm-hmm. Careful with that.
Yeah. So today we're really going to dive into kind of managing money and the types of things that you should do, and maybe some tips on how to do that. Just being in the hair industry. I know we talked about last episode, just kind of getting hairstylists, beauty owners, everyone in the beauty industry, more knowledge on finances when it comes to actually managing money, spending money, saving money, all of that stuff. It's no secret that in the beauty industry, there is a lack of knowledge when it comes to what to do with your money when you get it.
And it's not just the money that you're earning, the money that, you know, what you're doing with your taxes at the end of the year, which if you're a business, hopefully you get something maybe quarterly done.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't know when you drive here to Private Label to pick up hair, you can write off those miles.
Yeah, definitely.
Like those miles, it's like, and it's a lot of, like, it's like 60 cents a mile now, around there.
There's an app. Is it called Mile IQ? I think I've
heard of that. Yeah.
Where you can actually track your miles. That way, at the end of the year, when you're sending your accountant or your tax preparer your miles, you can just send them your report from Miles IQ, and so it will calculate all your miles for you.
Yeah, because just imagine if you're driving, say 15 minutes away, right? And say it's 10 miles here, 10 miles here, 10 miles back. That's basically gives you a $12 deduction.
Yeah. Which
doesn't sound like a lot initially, but we have people that will come here 5 days a week. That's $60 a week. That's $3,120 a year.
Yeah, Mikey passed basic math in school.
No, I'm a beast at basic math. Algebra, geometry, all those other things. Oh, no, I failed.
Yeah.
But basics, the ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, I'm a beast. But look, that's a $3,000 write-off. I bet you most hairstylists don't take it. If you're driving to a client,
that's a write-off.
Off the miles.
Gas as well.
Well, I think you have to be careful. If you're writing off gas, you can't write off miles. So you have to kind of pick.
That's interesting.
But I think most people use miles. It's easier to manage.
Than gas?
Than gas, yeah.
Okay. That's good to know. The first tip I would recommend is to not commingle your funds. So I know sometimes even hairstylists, they may have their personal bank account and then all the money goes into their personal bank account. But really, you should have a business bank account, like your salon or your whatever your business is. You should have your business bank account, and then you should be paying yourself out. So I know I used to do this. I would commingle like my money because I didn't know or understand how to actually separate it. So now I'll pay myself from my business account, and then all my transactions, personal, I'll use from my personal account. And then business transactions, like I'll use gas, I'll put that on my business card. If I'm going out to a meeting or something like that, I'll put that on my business card. But other than that, everything should be coming out of your personal account. So if you're swiping to get food, I don't know how that works. Again, I'm not an accountant, but sometimes I know people will swipe every single day food on their business card, but not sure how that works or how accurate that is. If you should be doing that or shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, well, food, if you're like in a meeting with someone, then that's okay.
Right.
And I know because of COVID the last year or two, you get like 100% get to write off 100% of that. But, usually I think it's only 50% for entertainment and meals. But because of COVID, they were trying to get more people to eat on at restaurants. So how to do that? They give them a bigger write-off. So the government helps foot the bill a little bit. You just have to be careful and keep things documented.
Definitely.
That's really key. That's what I like about the Amex app is inside the app, as soon as you charge something, right? It's in your app in a second.
Yeah.
Basically instantly. You can actually click that transaction. Have I ever shown you that?
With the receipt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what happened was there used to be a separate app. Now they got rid of the Amex business app, and it's just in the regular app.
Oh, maybe
so you can
not
see here and then say like Amazon Marketplace, and you hit receipts, and then you take a photo or choose a photo, and then boom. I mean, literally in seconds. You have no excuse.
So what is the benefit of that? Is it you take it to your accountant and
so
he does the
there are a
write-offs?
couple benefits.
Okay.
First is, if you ever get audited, IRS is like, oh, you want to write that off? Show me the receipt.
So even if it's in your transactions for what it was?
Yeah. So
got it.
You don't want the paper receipt. You're going to lose this.
Right.
Who keeps paper receipts these days? No one, right?
Posted.
So if you just take a photo, it's going to get lost with your million photos you take, right? But if you have the photo and it's documented inside here, it's much easier because sometimes our accountant reaches out to me. It's like, hey, Mikey, I see this transaction on the card. What's this for? Now, some things like in Cap 1, I can't upload receipts, Capital One. But if I had the receipt in there and she sees where it is, the location name, she's like, okay, this gets billed to this property. This is the type of thing.
Yeah.
So it saves time and money because the accountant, who's expensive, even bookkeepers, if they don't have to reach out to you for information, if they have it all right in their hands, they can get it done faster.
Yeah.
Which means they're not emailing you, which is going to waste your time having to reply back. It doesn't sound like much, but in life, we can get these things start adding up and stacking up, just like Netflix and HBO subscriptions. They will stack.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I stopped paying for Netflix and I mooch off of someone else. Look
at you. Look, Netflix, you better, ding, 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 Netflix, come and get her over here.
Definitely.
So, so just, it simplifies things. Just do it right up front. It only takes a second and it'll save you a lot of time in the long run. Time and money in the long run.
I think starting off, like for people maybe who just started their business, or you're not keeping up with the expenses and everything, a really great tool is QuickBooks. If you don't have the budget to hire a bookkeeper to kind of keep up with everything throughout the entire year, QuickBooks is really great. It will put your expenses and your revenue together. That way, at the end of the year, you can just give your accountant access to your QuickBooks and they can see everything that you've been doing.
And I think actually QuickBooks syncs with all your credit cards. So those transactions will go in there, and you can actually in the QuickBooks app do a couple things. I believe you can take a photo and add it to the transaction that way. So that's another way you can do it. And QuickBooks has something for the mileage. So if you're going to a location or something, you can actually document it in the QuickBooks app and it'll keep track for you.
Oh, nice. I did not know that.
So that's a major, major time saver. So that way you don't need all these extra apps and everything else. So if you're a QuickBooks user, use the software to its fullest.
Definitely.
And it's going to save you a fortune.
It will. And a lot of stress too, because I think last year I was so stressed when I went to I was trying to get my tax person over everything. And then this year I just sent them my QuickBooks login. And I was like, this is everything. And it was just so much more seamless. You
had everything already organized?
In QuickBooks, yeah. I did the, how you can go in and add the transactions, what they were, categorize them. Everything was just categorized. And it made his life a lot easier.
And probably cost you less to get everything done.
It was still the same fee, but
look, I'm gonna give me the guy's number. I'm gonna call him up and be like, I need a discount.
It was still the same.
But still, in theory, it's a smarter way to do things because all of us could always improve our organization.
Definitely. I know before we were talking about kind of some of the stuff that you can write off as a hair business owner. And I thought it was really cool that they were integrating that into Brown & Brothers.
Right.
So what they're doing is they're literally going through and showing you how you can write off your hotel, your flight, food,
the
transportation, the tickets, everything as a business expense. And you can literally go on vacation for free, which is really good. So I think it's important Because people don't know. Like, I remember I was listening to a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and they were talking about how when you get a new car, you should put it in your business name. And all of these are opinions, but it made sense. It was like you put your car in your business name, and then you have more tax write-offs. Like, you go get a gas credit card, and you can start using that to build your business credit. Like, it's just so many different things that people don't know about that you can do within your business, especially when it comes to saving money annually.
Oh, for sure. You know, I lease my car specifically because I know that pretty much most of what I do with my car is driving to work, back work, meetings, this, that, the other. It's mostly 80% work.
Yeah.
So I write off 80% of my lease. And it feels good.
Oh, yeah.
You know? I mean, that doesn't mean, but just because you can write that off doesn't mean it's technically free.
Right.
So you got to be careful with that. It's not like it's just, you know,
money back.
Money.
Yeah.
It's not money back, but it will help reduce some of the tax liability at the end of the year, especially if you're good at this. Like, even your apartment, if you work out of your apartment on a certain percentage. Now, you can't. IRS is they got algorithms and all this stuff. If you try to say, oh, half of my apartment's for business, probably not.
Yeah.
But 20%?
I write off about 30%.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
But you work from home usually,
I do,
right?
yeah.
So that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
And your rent, let's just say her rent is $2,000 a month, 30%. That's $600 a month, $7,200 a year of additional I don't know what I would call it, additional expenses that you can write off that help reduce your tax liability at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. So you put your car in your business name?
No, the car's actually in my name personally.
Okay.
But because of how intertwined I am with a lot, you know, all these, we have a lot of different businesses and stuff. Because of the intertwine, the accountant takes care of it. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
I don't do any of this. I just try to keep it clean and everything. You know, one thing I always recommend doing is for all your expenses, like we talked about the separation. And a lot of people don't realize, I'll just use Georgia as an example, how inexpensive and easy it is to have that separation. All you have to do is form an LLC. In Georgia, I think it's $99.
Yep.
You get a tax ID after you have the Secretary of State. That's $99, super easy. Tax ID is free, like irs.gov. You don't need anyone to do this for you. Then you take that documentation, you go to any local bank, deposit $100, whatever it is. That's free to open a bank account.
I think it might even be $25 to open it.
Yeah, I mean, just whatever. So, but that's still your money. It doesn't. It's not like you're paying, but just to put a little money in the account. It's really like $100 in a little bit of time to have that separation. That's going to be like a game changer for your organization.
Definitely.
So you have no excuse. I'm just saying, like, this is not. And then once you do it, because a lot of people, I remember when my sister was thinking of starting her own business, right? And she is not an entrepreneur at all, right? Which is cool. Not everyone's an entrepreneur. She was literally freaking out about every little step. But
you know what? I think I remember us talking about this before.
Yeah, because she was like, "Oh my God, what if they I said, Carrie, people form these businesses all day, every day. It's not a big deal. I was like, you're freaking out today because you've never done it. But after you go through this process, the next time if you had to do it, you're going to be like, why was I freaking out over this? It's one of those situations. Yeah. You know?
I think it's so important to make sure your personal finances are really great. You're budgeting, saving, investing personally. And then it's that much easier when you go over into your business account and you're able to kind of keep up with all of your business expenses. You're not spending money willy-nilly on your business credit or regular money because you have it there. One of the apps that I use is called Every Dollar. And so it's literally a budgeting app, and you can put out all of your expenses that you have, put in the amount that you have to spend per month on those things, and it literally helps you build your budget. And so it'll send you push notifications if you're about to go over that budget, or it'll just kind of help you get everything on paper. And I know for some people, it's better for them to see before they can actually like understand and do it. So Every Dollar is a very great resource for you to actually get your budgeting together personally. And then once you do that, it's going to be easier for you to get that business budget together too.
If you don't have your personal budget and can manage your personal finances, Zakiyrah, what's going to happen in your business?
It's going to fail.
Like, there's no way around it. It's not like just because you started a business, you think you're going to be organized all of a sudden. That's something you have to learn and teach yourself.
Yeah.
And do.
It's like James Brenner said, you have to be the CEO of your personal life before you can be the CEO of a company. So making sure that you're managing yourself before you can manage anyone else.
Right. Yeah, it's so important. And one of the things that I really, really like about credit cards is it's easy for me to kind of keep track of everything.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, like in the morning, I'll go through and I have a bunch of cards, but I'll go through and I'll just start looking at what's getting charged on the card. And then, a lot of software stuff or just miscellaneous expenses. I'm like, do we really need that? And those are the kind of things that I like to cut off.
How often do you look at your bank accounts?
Every day.
I was watching, maybe it was a class or something the other day, and the guy said, you want to do something as much as you check your bank accounts a day, and as much as you check your bank accounts. And he said every 7 to 10 days. And I was like,
oh, no
way.
No.
I was like, no way. Like, my husband looks at the account every day, multiple times a day. I'm like, dang, I don't think anything has changed from 2 o'clock. I don't think so.
Well, it's good just to keep up with, like, daily. It's just easy that you don't miss anything.
Yeah.
So right now we're kind of trying to trim down a lot of our expenses and other extra services. So it makes it easier. And then if there's an expense, like if I can't do it right then, I put it in my to-do list, cancel XYZ subscription, or ask, XYZ employee, or ask, the team, hey, do we still need this? Are we using this service? Like this much? We were paying a lot for local Google ads, and I am all over the customer support team about when people come in, if they're a new customer, ask how they heard about us.
Yeah.
Nobody was saying from these Google ads.
So you cut it off.
And we were spending a good amount of money on these things. So I'm like, okay, let me just cut them off and see what happens.
Yeah.
There was no difference. And I'm like, oh, I'm saving, I have a bunch of, we have a bunch of locations. So it's thousands of dollars a month. And I was like, okay, well, that was, that's why it's so important to get feedback where you can from, if it's either you directly reaching out to customers, or if it's your support staff, that's the front line.
Yeah.
Making sure they're asking everybody, how did you find out about us?
That's a great tip, especially when it comes to business. You always want to know how people heard about you.
Because your finances will be out of whack if you're throwing money all over the place and you don't know what's really working. Especially that's something that's not as easy to track. So if you're a hairstylist trying to get people in your door, the physical door, that's not near as easy to track as if I sent out a newsletter, someone clicked on a link and made a purchase.
Definitely.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Zakiyrah's just waiting for me to say the next tip. No, but seriously, go ahead and clear out a lot of your expenses. A lot of fluff and everything. Like emails, I've been for a week spending a week going through all our emails and like deleting a lot of stuff and everything. I think your business, as you start to grow, will start to get a lot of bloat in every department. Like our emails is just too much.
Yeah. I think what would be very helpful is if we talked about kind of how business owners can save money in the business. So I know sometimes you use the credit cards to get points and stuff, but what are some other tips maybe for people to save money in their businesses? Maybe it's purchasing annual subscriptions versus monthly, or what does that look like?
Yeah. So you have to, have somewhat of a budget in mind.
Yeah.
For new people, especially if you start saving up some money, I recommend don't spend that money. Just get a little bit of savings. Especially at this point for our business, like if we started losing a ton of money and we didn't have savings, like how are we going to make payroll? Stuff like that. Yeah. So that's really important. So then you have to look at ways to save money. So there are ways especially with software services. Hey, if I pay 10 months or 1 year, they'll give you like 2 bonus months. Those kind of things really add up. Especially a lot of these deals happen around Black Friday, Cyber Monday.
Oh, yeah. I remember you would stack up on all the technology
stack. Oh, yeah. I was stacking it because it makes a difference. I mean, we were just getting our internet down in Dominican, And, you know, I was like, oh, okay, it's this much. I was like, oh, okay. But it's fiber internet, which is actually really fast for there. And even here. And I said, okay, what if we pay a year? She's like, I'll give you 2 months free. Done.
Yeah.
You know, that saves us like $800. It's $400 a month for this internet. We got really good internet though.
Oh yeah.
But so, you know, that saves us. But see, the thing is, you have to have the savings of the capital first, because you can't go out and start saving all this money on paying up front for like a year or 6 months if you don't have the money.
Right, exactly.
A lot of people don't even know that Shopify has this option. You can pay, I think, up to 2 years in advance on Shopify, and you'll get a big savings.
I don't think I noticed that.
Oh, yeah. So Shopify has that under their billing. You can do that. So, you know, it's one of those things. The step one, get savings. Because all these things we're talking about as far as paying ahead, it doesn't matter if you don't have the savings.
If you don't have money, yeah.
Right? So get some savings. You're going to have some security in your business, some safety.
What would you say is probably a good number for someone to have? You know how they say personally you should have 6 months reserve of just bills and stuff in your personal account. But what would you say for business? Like how much?
I would like to see 3 months at least.
Yeah.
You know, if you have more than that, the more the better, especially when things go kind of crazy. Like, you know, this year in the hair industry, the tax season this year was not a tax season this year.
No.
Because so many people, they didn't work last year.
Yeah.
And when you don't work, you don't get a tax refund. So this year's tax season was kind of a wash. So, but I kind of was planning for that. And as soon as I got a little sniff that the tax season wasn't going to be popping, I started cutting stuff quick.
Yeah.
Right? Because the tax season is a time for the industry. That's where we kind of get caught up. Tax season for us is kind of like the holidays for every other business. You know, so you have to really start planning for that. So, you know, having that savings is for when you plan, but then something just happens that's out of your control.
Yeah. One thing I was going to say was, dang, I had a brain fart. That's been happening a lot lately.
Zakiyrah's been working hard, guys, on a lot of things. She has been... Zakiyrah, have you been utilizing a to-do list?
Actually, yeah. And I noticed that when I don't use my to-do list, I get so, like, that's when my anxiety, like, goes through the roof.
Really?
And I get overwhelmed, and I start just, like, freaking out. So every time I go back to my to-do list, it literally helps me just kind of focus. And it's like, okay, I have to do this, and I can get that done. Like, I'm not thinking about all 20 things that I have to do in one day.
It helps clear your head.
It does. It literally does. Like, I notice my anxiety will go down as I'm getting back focused on the tasks at hand.
Yeah. I'm so much more efficient with the to-do list. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I think we actually had a whole episode about
we did
habit. Yeah.
Yeah, probably like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 episodes ago.
Yeah, definitely.
Whenever it is. Yeah, but finances, I mean, the key thing is you have to revisit, I think, like at least quarterly, all your expenses. You should have a budget in place of, like, especially if you have a physical retail location. Okay, what's my monthly for this?
Yeah. Oh, I know what I was going to say. When we were talking about reserves, it's different if for people who have like storefronts and people who don't. Your expenses may not be as high if you don't have a storefront or if you don't have a ton of overhead costs. So your reserves may look a little different than someone who actually has a physical location or they just have overhead costs.
Yeah, I mean, you can really, if you're just running an online business, you can run it pretty lean. I mean, you can really be bumping at a couple $100 a month. If you really, something happened, you really need to scale back.
Right.
And you're like, I just need to get through this, but I don't want my brand to go away. I mean, keep your Shopify store up, keep your email service up, keep your domain name registered.
All that is probably like under $100 expenses
a year expenses. Or I mean a month.
A month.
Under $100 a month.
Definitely.
So, you know, you can really, if you had to cut off the email for a little bit, you can download your list and save that.
Yeah.
So there's ways around it.
Definitely. I would say I would love to bring an accountant on one episode so we can really flush out what this looks like for your business so that people can walk away and feel so comfortable with going to open their accounts or managing their money on a consistent basis, whatever that looks like. But I would love to have a guest.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's find somebody. I think we know some accountants.
Yeah, we know a few accountants.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, so many people focus on making money.
Mm-hmm.
And
they don't know how to manage it.
They don't know how to manage it. They don't know how to like make sure the taxes are being done properly and just kind of waiting too late. There's people probably contacting accountants. Taxes are due. Today we're recording this on a Friday. Taxes are due on Monday. There's literally people this weekend getting their paperwork together, trying to get to an accountant and be like, hey, can you just file this by Monday?
Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, but that's going to cost you.
Or they might not even be able to do it.
Oh, true. I love what my dad always says, like, you need to learn how to make money, but then once you learn how to make money, you need to learn how to manage your money, and then you need to learn how to multiply your money. The 3 M's.
Yeah, I like that.
Make it, manage it, and multiply it.
Yeah.
Because if you're making it and you're not managing it, then you don't have any money. And if you're not multiplying it, then you're not making more.
It comes down to this as far as managing it, right? So think about the times when you used to work and you made $10 an hour.
Mikey, I remember when I was making $6.25 an hour.
I remember when I was making $5.15, but then, under the table, I was making like $4 in my first job many, many years ago.
Wow.
But think about when you made $10 an hour and then you got that raise to say next year you're making $12 an hour, but you still feel like you have no money.
Yeah.
And then you got to then you're up to like $15, then $20, but then you still have no money.
Yeah.
At some point, you need to figure out what's going on in your life.
Yeah.
That, hey, I'm making all this money, but I still don't have money.
Yeah. Living.
And I went through it. So I'm not saying that I'm perfect and I, didn't have these problems. Trust me, I am. I can talk like this because I did it, but I'm just like, it almost seems like no matter how much money you make, you still have no money.
Yeah. A lot of it is either you're drowning in debt or you're not managing your money properly because you're living above your means.
Right.
And I think that's what a lot of people who live paycheck to paycheck are doing because they're not managing the money that they're bringing in.
And I think personally, from my experience and just from other entrepreneurs I talk to, and this number is going to sound like a lot, but it's like the first 100,000 of net worth. This could be real estate and stocks and this, that, the other. The first 100,000 is the easiest.
Yeah.
It's the hardest. The hardest. Once you get to 100,000, getting to $1 million is like easy. Because all the compounding and you have all these other things working for you. It's just that getting out of the drowning debt and all the finance charges and all this extra stuff, getting away from that is just so tough. But once you do it, and usually you have to have sacrifice involved.
Yeah.
Meaning you're not going out all the time. Your
Sacrifice
coffee at home.
Early, live later.
Yeah. You don't want to live too late. You don't want to be...
Not too late, but for example, one thing that I wish I did differently was when I got out of college, there were a ton of things I wish I would have done differently, but early meaning while you have the skill set, while you have the time before you start building families and stuff, sacrificing kind of early, learning, building, growing, and then you can live later,
I mean, I wish I invested in, I don't know about you, Dawi, but I wish I invested in Microsoft 25 years ago too.
Definitely.
So it's like
that's where my mind is. I'm like, if I knew when I was 18 years old, I got a big refund check when I was in college. I had no clue what to do with it. I went to Scottrade. I walked in Scottrade and I opened up a Roth IRA account. Had no clue what to do with anything. I bought a few shares of Facebook at $33. If I knew now what I knew then, I would have put all $3,000 into Facebook and been
looking pretty good.
Looking amazing right now.
Yeah.
It's all about like what you know. And I was sitting here looking at my account like, dang, Facebook shares are like $200 and something right now.
Yeah.
I bought them when they were at $33. That's what I mean by knowing, like sacrificing earlier.
This was what, 10 years ago?
This was
9 years?
11 years ago.
I mean, Facebook stock probably split by then. Now she got me all interested. See if Facebook stock split.
I don't think so.
Did Facebook stock ever? So you bought it. You bought it 11. Let me look at max.
I bought it at $33.
Oh, okay. So no, it didn't split. So yeah, it was at 33. Actually, Facebook wasn't the best investment.
No.
So that would have been around mid 2013. If you would have put that in Apple, because I know you like Apple.
Apple, yeah.
I know you like what's it called? iPhones.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see, Max. If you put that in Apple in 2013, would have been like $17. And now it's $165.
But Facebook is 290 something right now?
No, like 200. It's gone down.
Oh, it went down. Yeah. At one point, it was $293 a share.
It's actually kind of fun to be like, hey, I wonder if I invested this, that, the other, whenever.
Really? It's not fun to me. It makes me like mad all over again. I'm like, dang, if I would have just did.
If you would have put $1,000 in Amazon, May 16th, 1997.
1997. Well,
Look,
you'd be a millionaire right now.
Oh, you'd be like
Sitting on.
Oh my God. Yeah. You'd be one of those Bitcoin billionaires.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
You know, we talked about Bitcoin, me and Dave Luke, the developer, we talked about Bitcoin back when it first came out, when it's like $1.
And now it's like
40,000.
5 figure, right? 5 figure.
40,000.
Yeah.
It's always what you knew then, or like what you wish you knew.
Would have known. Yeah.
So the key is, once again, because we always talk about this, is education.
Definitely.
Learn from others that are doing it. Learn from the right people.
Yeah.
Read a book or two. That's what I'm focused on, is reading right now.
Cut down on your Instagram scrolling time and pick up a book or a blog, an audiobook, a podcast, something educational.
Yeah, because people are like, oh, I'm so busy. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, you can't run their business or learn this because you're so busy.
Yeah.
And then be like, anyways, so I watched this like marathon TV show last night. I'm like, you spent 6 hours Netflix binging, but you didn't have like 30 minutes to listen to this podcast that I recommended. I'm like, yeah, you're not going to be moving as fast as you think you're going to be moving.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Man, it's just crazy. But I look forward to having the CPA on the show so we can kind of dive into finances within the industry a lot.
And another special guest that we're going to have is, I talked to Dana. So she was supposed to be here today, but she got booked before we could confirm. So she is an awesome lawyer for trademark and for business structure, legal structure.
A beast.
She's awesome. So we're definitely going to have her on here.
Yes.
So we got some guests. We have our new business partner, Anila, coming on soon. Yeah, a few people finding out about us. So it's like... You know, it's just going to get better and better, provide more amazing information for you to help you with your business. Just that simple.
Definitely. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, drop us some comments, some 5-star reviews. Don't give us anything less than a 5-star review because we're giving you 10-star information over here.
Oh, 10-star. I didn't even know there was 10-star.
There's not. I made it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we enjoy giving you guys information on the podcast here. We've been doing it for
5 years.
5 years now. Yeah. So it's been a hump being consistent on the podcast, but I think we've gotten a lot better. We stopped naming the episode numbers, right? we can't name
the episode.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and we'll be back with another episode.
We'll be back. All right, gotta go. Bye.